biggest exporter in the world. So how is that affecting product development?
Okay, so when we speak and we got the position as a leader, that means we export more or less 70% of our production all over the world. So that means we have to take into account regulations, culture, trends from all the countries.
Yeah.
So it's really a great challenge. And we face some issue with some countries, for example, regarding China, which is the most restrictive and complex legislation. It's also a filter because you reduce, of course, your portfolio to fit with this regulation. So, if you want to sell everywhere, you need to have a very good marketing department, a very strong communication, and a very good knowledge of culture.
Welcome to a new season of Provitalks, where innovation and purpose guide our conversations beyond beauty. Join us as we explore new ideas with inspiring voices from within and beyond the industry, because imagining what's ahead is the beauty of the future.
Hello and welcome back to Provitalks, where we explore not only what beauty is, but what is becoming. Today, we are continuing our journey into different markets that are shaping what beauty is becoming. And we are heading to France, a cornerstone of global beauty and, well, a very well-known market for its high standards, as well as for its influence globally in trends, especially for beauty, for premium cosmetics, right?
That's right, Clara. And well, to guide us through this fascinating market, today we have with us here at Provitalks someone with a lot of experience in this French market and a lot of insight on the market as well. We have with us Gilles Benech, Managing Director of Provital France. Welcome, Gilles, to Provitalks. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, thank you. So thank you for inviting me to this Provitalk about the future of beauty and French beauty market. Honestly, it's a very difficult topic. It's because no one knows all the key of that. But I think we'll look forward to discussing about some ideas later on that.
For sure. But we're going to start with you because you have an amazing experience, a very complete background in very different markets, especially in France, but you also have experience in other parts of Europe and Latin America. So please tell us how this professional journey happened, how it started and how is it?
Yeah, so speaking about my professional career, I have, when I look back, it's more or less 38 years old, in this business. Yeah. So as you mentioned, in France, in a luxury company, I start later on in distribution, in commercial area, later on with South American market, from Mexico to Chile. And that has been amazing experience, to adapt to different culture, to propose and to make business, because the idea was to make business at that time. And later on, moving to Spain for a Netherlands company. And after that, Provitalks. So it has been a succession of, I think, human meetings. I never look for a job, honestly speaking. Also be opportunities. But I was looking for challenge, and that's my idea.
I guess that this is something that you find in a way, right? So how was this opportunity that came across almost 13 years ago when you decided to join Provital France as Managing Director?
Yeah, so it was more or less, it was a meeting with the owners at that time, again. So always human, feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm based on instinct and feeling, at least. And when you meet an owner, you meet something able to take risk, to create, to design, to build. Entrepreneur at the end. And honestly speaking, it was the first time in my career I met people able to speak about the company, not as a company, but as a brand. Mm-hmm. And that has been the click to decide me to follow the way. And this motivates me to continue. It's always my driver today to continue with Provital, to make this brand stronger and powerful. Because Provital is not only a company, it's also a brand.
That's right. Well said.
Yes, definitely.
So as Clara was mentioning in the beginning, right, the French market, France for cosmetics industry is like the main benchmark in the world where you can find the most prestigious and high luxury brands and products in the world. But what is the consumer expectations for this market, for these brands?
So we have to consider France as a cradle of the world cosmetic business.
Yeah.
Embodies a unique, excellence of innovation. When you speak about innovation, you mean combining science, knowledge, high standard quality, which is a guarantee for consumer to have a safe product. Also heritage, artisanal heritage, and sensoriality. So all this is considered art of beauty in France, but it doesn't come from yesterday. It's a long story based on at the beginning on perfume, essential oils, and skincare products, not cosmetic at that time. So cosmetic is a new name.
Yeah.
It's a common, name to describe skincare products. So all this is a representation of what we propose to consumers. And also we have to consider France today as a leader. Also, it's a leader, in exportation. We export in 2024 more than 22 billion euros. And the second one, which is Korea now, is before United States. The second position is Korea, with around 12 billion euros today. So we have a very aggressive competitor now with Korea in front of us, and we have to keep our position. A very, very difficult position to maintain.
Yeah. Very, very difficult, and especially if you're looking at consumer expectations, that those were very clear, from France, but now these expectations for the manufacturers in France, they have to look at global expectations, right? They have to look at, you're saying, biggest exporter in the world. So how is that affecting product development?
Okay, so when we speak and we got the position as a leader, that means we export more or less 70% of our production all over the world. So that means we have to take into account regulations, culture, trends from all the countries. Yeah. So it's really a great challenge. And we face some issue with some countries, for example, regarding China, which is the most restrictive and complex legislation. It's also a filter because you reduce, of course, your portfolio to fit with this regulation. And on the marketing point of view, we also face some issue because of regulation. So I could give you some example. For example, in Asia, when you speak about skin pigmentation disorder, you have to follow in Korea, you cannot say skin whitening, not anymore. In China, you just can use radiance only to speak about whitening.
Radiance equals whitening.
Or dual complexion disorder, something like that, which is nothing related to skin treatment for whitening. Yeah. And the new legislation in India, for example, you are not allowed to show a photo before and after treatment because you use skin color to imply superiority.
Yeah.
So it's also something we have to deal with to launch a skin whitening product all over the world. Yeah. And you have some companies, who found the way to a solution with wording, for example, to attract consumer. I think one of the best examples is Dior. They launched in Asia a brand named Dior Snow. And snow, everybody knows.
Yeah,
snow,
the color of snow.
White, totally white. So this one has been very successful at the beginning because of the wording they use. So, if you want to sell everywhere, you need to have a very good marketing department, a very strong communication, and a very good knowledge of culture.
Exactly. You have to adapt, right?
Yeah. To adapt, to reinvent yourself all the time because the legislation is changing all the time. So we saw in Korea in 2021, they changed the legislation. So you have to be able to change very quickly the way you sell product.
So do you think that the French brands, our customers, for example, when they are briefing for a new project, do they focus already with these requirements, or maybe they share with, I only going to do one product for this area, and another product for the rest or for the home country?
Yeah, they don't split anymore. They just launch one product for all over the world. It's too expensive to have specific products according to some areas. So the challenge for us is to propose a good active ingredient
that works for everyone in the whole.
Yeah, is able to comply with all legislation and to give also tools, maybe on a marketing or communication point of view, to sell it locally. And to convince marketing, we propose the best ingredient for the brief.
Yeah, not an easy job.
No. That's why it's so interesting to speak with him. He knows what's happening in the rest of the world indirectly.
Heavily dependent on the international market.
Well, I just mentioned 70% of the exportation in cosmetics. It's a lot. So.
We have today another issue with USA.
Yeah.
Because of taxes. So we have to find another way to make business and to continue growing. So we have some idea for future.
So going back to these French cosmetic brands, would you say that are the key factors when looking for active ingredients for the formulations?
So the key factors first is efficacy.
Okay.
So of course, you forget about compliance, regulation compliance. You have of course to fill with many questions.
Yeah.
Some new are appearing. So maybe the new one which is related to transparency. So they want to know everything from the seed to the jar. So that means you have to explain all the blockchain, where it's coming from, where and how you get this ingredient. So we are very, very transparent. You have to give the name and the mail of the guy in charge of the collect of the ingredients. So it's quite sometimes difficult to get this information, but it's more or less that's the idea of the cosmetic industry today. And also we have to secure also the ingredient to be able to deliver this on a long-term issue to the brand and to the customer. So sourcing and ability to have a sourcing able to support during many, many years this ingredient.
You can guarantee the supply chain.
A long-term supply.
Well, after dedicating from 2 to 3 years on developing a new product, if you have to stop making it because some issues in the supply chain can be...
So when you launch an active ingredient, the first question, of course, is regulation compliance. That's okay. Later on, transparency. And the last topic, efficacy. So you have to prove the efficacy of the ingredient you propose. But efficacy means also to demonstrate with technical and technological background the efficacy of the ingredient. Not only in vitro tests, they want to have clinical tests on huge panel to show the product is really, really efficient, to convince it's a good ingredient for the project.
And what about biotechnology regarding extraction process or manufacturing process?
Biotechnologies today is, of course, the way to develop ingredients and to also to comply with sustainability.
So it's a two-in-one. Yeah.
The two-in-one, but take care with biotechnology is also energy consuming. So we have to show also the technology you use has not a negative impact on the environment.
Yeah.
So it's a group of parameters we have to comply with to be sure, again, not to fill in the list of the customer because they have to select. We are not alone on the market. There are many competitors.
That's right.
So you have to fill with compliance regulation, efficacy, sustainability, waste management, water management, many, many different parameters to be successful at the end. But I mean successful, that means 3 years or 5 years after. The development of product is between 3 and 5 years.
I said 2 and 3, but I was very
optimistic.
No, the time to market in France is a very long process. Between 3, usually 5 to 10 years. So when you propose an active ingredient, the first success means that the order could arrive 5 years after.
Wow.
So you have to be patient to get the business.
And would you say that in terms of the focusing on the efficacy part, on the efficacy factor, would you say that it's increased the amount of data that they ask or the amount of, or the level of the technology that clients want, clients as the manufacturers? Do you think that has increased in the years, in the last years, or?
Yeah, it's more and more, you have to prove with more devices and more data the efficacy of the product. Even at the end, they use only one parameter of all the tests you conducted. But anyway, you have to use very, very updated technology and also to prove the efficacy on different aspects. Sometimes they want one active ingredient for different applications to avoid, to repeat all the process to validate again a new ingredient.
So we discussed efficacy, sustainability, but now we are also adding here innovation.
Yeah.
So when we speak about innovation, again, you have a list. So of course, so you have to comply with different aspects and sustainability and so on, and green technology. So innovation is not only the choice of one ingredient, it's all the process you use to develop the active ingredient.
Yeah.
So the carbon footprint, for example, is also a key element in the process. So you have to be able to answer all these questions before getting, again, the possibility to be approved.
Yes.
Yeah, not an easy job.
Not easy job. And again, we have many, many competitors and they do more or less the same. So we have to be different from them.
Yeah. And talking about approval, because you mentioned compliance, compliance very briefly, but I'm guessing that is a very strong subject when it comes to product development in France for this global approach that we're mentioning. So could you elaborate a little bit on the regulatory aspect of the of how it is impacting the marketing strategy or the product development of beauty brands nowadays?
Yeah. So compliance, also we spoke about China, for example, regulation, but more or less each country in Brazil has a specific also legislation. It's very, very tricky. The United States also has the specific one. In California, for example, they have a restrictive legislation compared to the United States. So it's much more difficult and restrictive than all the country. And this, of course, has a great impact of the way you propose and you argue the ingredient. So the elements you give to the customer, and later on he has to sell that to a brand. For example, in some companies, they manage, for example, L'Oréal, they manage 40 brands, and you have only one contact. So you have to give tools to the guy in front of you to be able later on to transfer this information to the good one able to be attracted by this ingredient. So compliance is a very large concept, which is moving all the time. So now later on, we have transparency. And I am sure we should have in the next few months a new legislation or new, request from the consumer. The idea is to be as safe as possible on the market. So maybe one topic we don't speak about is bad media coverage. So it's with a social network.
Yeah.
All the brands are, very, very
careful
with all the message on social networks. So, for example, it was 3 or 4 years ago, the jasmine flower was collected in Egypt by children. Yeah. And this has been a great impact on some companies. I don't mention the name, it's not being the most important, but just this element has been on social network, as a tsunami.
Yeah.
So we have to take care, when you select an ingredient and also the marketing claim associated with this ingredient. So, for example, we have many countries which are blacklisted. For example, Russia today, customers that don't want ingredient coming from Russia because of the situation with Ukraine, which is clear. But in other topic, we have also companies that don't accept ingredients from countries who do not sign the Nagoya Protocol, which guarantees also a fair distribution of wealth. So all these aspects have to be included from the beginning when you decide to propose something to one customer. So it's a huge quantity of data we need to be able to present something.
To help them.
To help them, yeah. So it's the reason why we, of course, we bother so much with the regulatory department with all the quantity of data, because we need that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, to be recognized as a key supplier. In all the company, more or less, I have 10 key suppliers, and we have to be in this group to be able to participate to the selection.
Exactly. the place to be.
The place to be, to keep, to maintain, with talent. So it's another challenge. You cannot do any mistake. Cannot lie.
I was just going to ask, how can these brands, especially these high-end brands or more focused on the dermatologist side, to navigate all this interconnection between sustainability, innovation, efficacy? But I think that the answer is you have to rely on partners like Provital, right? That they can provide you all the information that these brands are going to need to move along with their development.
Yeah, so it's always, a balance between, sustainability, innovation. So we have to make a compromise. We cannot answer all the question, but the brands need to make a balance between this and take a risk in some cases.
Yeah.
So that's the decision of the brand in that case. But our goal today is to propose the best information to help them, for a best selection, taking into account that it's always a balance between this sustainability and innovation. You cannot have impact zero, for example. When we speak about innovation, it's quite difficult, but you have to reduce as much as possible this impact on innovation.
It's just trying to be better and better every time.
Yeah. Sometimes we say we don't need to be more, always looking for more, but looking for best.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
And how do you do that? How is
the challenge
go-to-market strategy for the subsidiary in France and these specific lines, and with all these parameters that you have to take into account? How does Provital differentiate?
Yeah, so we have different type of customers in France. We have the luxury brands, and we also have very low-cost brands, and more or less all are following the same compliance system because it's a law, so they have to follow. But the way you sell is different. When you deal with a luxury brand, you don't use the same wording or marketing tools as with low-cost brand because, of course, the customer behind is not the same. So the level of expectation is not the same. So you have to adapt all the time and to develop something specific for this type of customers. And when, for example, we deal with one customer, we need to know the brand, the heritage of the brand, the DNA, and in some cases, the profile of women, the target of a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So all this is
the final consumer.
To the final consumer, the typical final consumer.
Yeah.
And to propose the best ingredient, but thinking about the consumer behind the brand.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about the new brands, startups, digital native, vertical brands, in here, it's not possible to talk about this heritage because maybe some of these brands are less than 2 years old in the market. Mm-hmm. How would you say that Provital can approach to these different brands in comparison with the more
institutional
typical ones?
Yeah. So when we deal with digital native vertical brands, they have a community. So a community is a group of people with values. So we look for, these values in TikTok, Instagram, in social network to try to find, keywords,
to understand
what they're looking for, and later on to adapt an ingredient to focus this community.
So a very personal approach. I can say that has your personal touch into it because you were saying that you're very, you get to know people and you're always looking for that personal feeling to it.
Yeah. It's the only way to get into contact because the brand is the first filter, but you have a consumer behind.
Yeah.
So but the target is the consumer. So we have to know the brand and the consumer, both.
So going in this strategy to get to market, could you share with us some experiences or some strategies that you have tried that have been successful or even that have surprised you with the results or the feedback from customers?
So what we do in France, we try to change it many times, the marketing.
They don't listen.
Okay. I'm going to forget you said that.
No, because we have to adapt the wording according to the target.
Of course.
So, for example, one of our best example, which has been very successful, so Cire Rose, which is an active ingredient for hair care, we gave another name. It's the magic droplet. And the way to change the name of the active ingredients have been very successful because the imaginary and is so powerful of the magic droplet. This has been very successful.
Yeah.
So
you changed, but you adapted the whole concept. That's the thing, because the image of Seal Rose is a droplet, so that completely aligns with the product.
But we try to push more, with wording. Of course, it's not magic droplet en français, c'est la goutte magique. So it's totally different, on the way, the sound and so on. With Hybridisation, it's the story behind. So the Great Wall of China. So the imaginary power is very powerful. So this has been quite easy, to promote this ingredient using the history of China first. So it's another way of launching an ingredient.
Okay.
Not the benefit only, but the story first. And what we are looking for the future, we would like to do is not to speak about storytelling, but story living. So that means we want to offer an experience to consumers with an active ingredient. So it's another way of thinking the way to sell.
That's cool, but that's a project for the future. You don't have any spoilers, anything to say. Okay.
We have some ideas, but we are going to first to select the ingredient, to propose the story living.
It's going a step beyond, right? The storytelling, definitely. It's very...
Everybody does storytelling today, so we have to push the limit and to propose something different to be more attractive.
Yeah, experience is more and more important, and even in B2B now, it's true.
Yeah,
that's
definitely. So we have to be curious all the time. So what we do also, we visit art exposition with the team in France to open the mind and to look for new ideas in other territories, because we have to mix everything and make like a salad of creativity.
Interesting.
And, well, what do you think is coming in the future in terms of ingredient innovation or in terms of beauty brands in France in general? What do you foresee here?
I think there is one word which is will be very popular. It's hybridization. We need to mix everything. So to take idea from food industry, so from textile industry, and to adapt to cosmetics.
Yeah.
So I think the successful future will come from this. If we stay in our actual knowledge, I think this will not be successful in the future. We have to be more open-minded.
Bring innovation from other industries or
the industries or knowledge,
yeah,
or from art, for example. It's also an opportunity. So we have to think about how will be the future of combining knowledge and discovery from other industries.
That's so cool, because we usually think, when we think about hybridization, we think with of personal care, or other kind of healthcare industries, because, well, the holistic trend is all over the world now, and we're starting to see, I don't know, natural cosmetics everywhere, or this integral medicine and all that. But I've never thought of hybridization so much ahead, like you're saying, right? With the textile industry, that's so...
Yeah, because if, for example, if you think about textile, if we could develop, a textile fabric, very, very thin fabric, this could be used as a second skin.
Yeah.
Like painting, you need to prepare, painting before.
Open your mind like that.
Open your mind, no limits. So no limit to creativity. I think the success is the secret is based on that. No more limits.
No more limits. Okay.
Yeah, in thinking, in creativity.
Nice title for
No more limits in creativity.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think we have to share and to be open enough to other culture. We can learn from everywhere, from everybody.
Yeah.
So I would like to bring another topic regarding the future. You mentioned the importance of the Chinese market, especially for French brands. I think that everyone knows that recently it's been more difficult for these brands to be successful in the Chinese market, especially because the local Chinese market are taking a lot of market share. So in the next few years, how do you foresee the future for this relevance of the Chinese market into the French brands? Do you think they have to push harder, or maybe it would be wiser to expand into other markets and not depend so much on this Chinese market?
I think they need to continue to be present and to comply with Chinese regulation, because it's a huge business. You cannot forget and get rid of this business. It's impossible. But for example, last year, some brands lost 40% in China. Luxury brands.
It's a big drop.
It's a big drop. So they need to compensate very quickly. So the idea was to move to United States. So the situation today in the United States is quite tricky. So we have to look for new territories. And there is one new, not new territory, but a country which is
emerging, yeah.
Emerging, it's India. India, it's now, a key market for luxury brands, but not only luxury, for Dermocosmetics also brands. So we need to learn about this country to understand better the way they use cosmetics, the limits, the culture.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, religion and so on. It's like a mapping of different culture in India. So we need to understand very quickly how they manage the beauty in India to be able to penetrate this market.
And the luxury, because we are talking about luxury brands.
Yeah. So, for example, Shiseido has already penetrated this market.
Mm-hmm.
They have an office in India, and all the luxury brands are also investigating, and some multinational already bought some local brands
To start
and to understand better the way they manage.
Well, I think it makes sense. Actually, India is the country with the biggest population in the world.
A younger one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with money.
Yeah, middle class is establishing and growing.
It's growing. We have, I think, they speak about 60 million people with a very, very important power.
Very interesting.
That's
Future insights.
yeah. No, I love it. I love it.
Also, in India, has a specific regulation. So we have to comply now. It's another step.
Yeah.
So it's not only China and so on, but also India.
Well, more difficulties for you and your team.
Exactly. So we have to be, prepared to understand better the regulation in India.
Yes. Yes. I'm curious, Gilles, of what you've brought here.
Yeah.
What is this? What was this related to your creativity ideas?
I almost forgot about that.
So I show you on the camera, number 3. Yeah, you can see it. So this is advertising from artificial intelligence in UK. It's coming from the health ministry. And they published that I think it was the first screen in Manchester. And now they developed that all over UK. It's the simulation of the damage of sun on skin. So for example...
This is the back, right?
That is the back of a guy. And after more than 3 hours exposition, that's the damage, on skin burning. So they want to, to teach people and to explain them the importance to have a filter, a sun filter, SPF 30 at least or 50, to protect against sun damage. So it's very aggressive, but it's very clear advertising how to show the importance of not cosmetic, but dermocosmetic products.
And if I understood it right, that is made by artificial intelligence, so you're not damaging anyone.
No.
This was heard here.
No. But we could imagine the same with other idea, with the beauty, for example. So the importance of beauty is not only protecting against damage, but also what could be the advantage of hair on beauty to be more beautiful or to treat hair and so on. So no limits.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's an example of what we could do, even as a supplier, for example. In some cases, when we want to promote an ingredient, what will happen if you don't use our ingredient? What will be?
It will happen.
Absolutely.
Time will come.
So this is what you say, to think outside of the box and always propose something different.
Yeah.
And
that's innovation also.
Yeah.
And to use these tools, to support our promotion.
Very, very interesting.
Yes. Well, Gilles, we're done here with our questions for today. We could continue with questions, but I think that will be it for today. However, we have usually, some quick questions at the end of each
last
episode.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first question is, what is the latest cosmetics product that you have bought?
So I bought a product in supermarket. Yeah. It's a new Dermocosmetics brand we work with. And they launched a serum at €6 with one ingredient we proposed to them, which has been selected. It's a quite successful product in supermarkets. Only €6.
Well, 6 years, I mean.
And what does that do? What does
it's a treatment for sensitive skin.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to test it and to also, it's possible even in supermarket to use active ingredients,
yes, of course.
And to propose, that's also a great, information to propose to supermarket consumer quality product, high standard quality product with efficacy.
Exactly.
And what do you look for when you buy cosmetics? What is the first thing that you search for?
Safety and efficacy.
Very French then.
Hey, I'm all in line.
Now, what is your favorite active ingredient from Provital and why?
So my best ingredient, because it's EP.4 France, because of the story, but also all the skin benefits and all the possibilities we have around this active ingredient to be included in different cosmetic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there is multiple active ingredients, many opportunities.
Yeah, Hybridisation is one of the favorites of
It was
yours.
It's my one, yeah.
You too.
Okay.
It's mine as well, yeah.
Then the next question is, the best thing about the cosmetics industry is?
I think it's the possibility to adapt itself all the time and to reinvent. So cosmetic industry is very, it's a constant innovation. It's a lot of competition, aggressive competition. So we need to reinvent all the time.
And the worst?
The worst is not to listen people and especially cultural diversity.
Okay.
Well, now for this season, we wanted to know what, in a philosophical way even, like what are for you three aspects that would make the future more beautiful?
So I think the first one is to preserve the planet. All the things you can do to preserve the planet. The second one is doing better and not more. That means not looking for profitability all the time. Mm-hmm. That's another topic, another way of thinking. And the third one, which is something more personal, but is introduce art in our company and our brand. So when you mix art and a brand, you become stronger.
Yeah, that's something different than what we have heard so far.
Yeah, and we see, for example, the luxury industry now, they are very present in art. They invest in art. They have their own foundation. So we have in France some representatives of the luxury companies. But even smaller companies that invest in art. Art is also the way there is no limit in art.
Yeah, that's
all the culture are mixed. So everybody has something to say and to explain and to deliver.
And in different ways.
In different ways. So there is not one way. There is a large possibility of ways. So we have to listen and to use.
Yeah, to learn the way of doing a more artistic
way. More social, division in art. Everybody has a possibility, to elevate and to get another position thanks to art.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay, I think this will be the last question. Who would you like us to bring here at Provitalks for a future episode?
So I have two ideas.
Okay, you can share both.
There is one which is the possibility to receive people coming from the Association of Artistas Diversos. That could be a very interesting idea to deal with them, what they look for with arts and what's the benefit of arts for them. And the second one is maybe to receive a philosopher and to speak about what we call living today. So living, it's a very large subject and topic. It's today luxury brands are investing in this concept of living. What's the meaning of living for future? So it's also a philosopher, but tomorrow it will be also a claim and a tool to promote ingredients and brands.
I love it. It's so out of the box and very related to the future.
It wasn't in our radar.
No, exactly. It's a different way of looking at the industry and at the future. And I love it. Do you have any names in mind? Okay.
You can share with us later.
Yeah. We have somebody who already work on this topic because it's the future. So you have many people today working on this concept. And I was yesterday I was on TV watching a program, and the question of the guys is, I spoke with children and I asked them, when and where did you see a butterfly? And the children was not able to answer. They never saw butterflies. So that's a very important, topic when we speak of living, because we are losing contact with nature.
Yeah.
And knowledge from nature. So we have to connect again with nature.
Okay, we have some homework then.
Yes.
We'll look more into it.
We'll look into it, Gilles, for sure.
So many opportunities to offer a new era of cosmetic industry.
Well, something different is.
Yeah, we have a slogan now. Yes. Thank you, Gilles.
Welcome.
Thank you, Gilles, for
your
point of view, which is, as I said, very out of the box, and I've loved it. I'm sure you've loved it too, and I'm sure our audience has loved it too. We've learned a lot about the French market, about the future, and about what's to come. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. See you in the next episode. And remember that you can find all the episodes from the first season and then this season in our YouTube channel and in Spotify as well. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching and listening to Provitalks. We hope this episode brought you one step closer to imagining and creating the beauty of what's to come. Subscribe to our channel for the next conversation and connect with us anytime at weareprovital.com. Provital. Do care.